Okay, welcome to the video about lists and dictionaries. So, um, before we start, I'm going to first say what a list and a dictionary is. So, do you remember in the variables lesson, I taught you about different data types like strings, integers, and booleans, right? Basically, lists and dictionaries are another kind of data type, but they are a bit special because a list and a dictionary are kind of like books. And because in books you have pages, right? Basically, um, each page of the list and the dictionary holds different values of the different data types I mentioned earlier. So I'll just create a list to show you. So let's say we have a book. Okay. Remember how when I was creating variables back in the day, right? Like I would do this, the name of the variable, then after that is equals to 1 or whatever. So now it's the same thing when you're trying to create a list. So we have book equals, then you have to do this thing. You have to do these brackets here, these square brackets. So you can imagine this to be the cover of your book. So this will be the front page or the front cover. This will be the back cover. Then inside is your meat or your pages. So just now I said, okay, the list, okay, we're making a list here. Dictionaries we'll do later. So we have a list here called book, and it is currently empty. So how do we add values into each page? We do it like so. So let's say in our first page, we have a string, and then that string says PyStart is the best. So we just like as if right, just as if we were doing this, right? If we are creating a variable that has the value of a string, then we write this thing here, right? When we want to create a string in the page, we just do it like this. Same. Okay, so that's the first page. Okay, I can make the first page, but how do I go on to the next page? So to do that, right, you do a comma, then after that, that's it. So the comma tells the Python program, oh, okay, the first page is done. Everything after this comma will be the second page. So in the second page, let's do a number that I'm just going to think off the top of my head, lah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's the number that I thought of my head. So on the second page now, there's going to be that number. Then we can create another page. Let's do another page. We can do another value. Let's do the boolean value true. Okay. But here's the thing, right? In these pages, you don't just have to put value. You don't just need to put values. Or okay, well you do, but you don't need to immediately create it like this. You can actually do it in a different way. Let's say we have a variable called page. And let's say the value of that page is 6. Okay, or the value of the variable is 6, the integer value 6. We can actually do this. We can call that variable here, and then what this does, right, as the Python program looks through the pages of this book to create the list, right, in its memory, it will see page, then it'll say, oh, do I know the value of page? Actually, yeah, you do. It's over here. So then you say, oh, actually this is supposed to be 6. So that's how you create a list. Okay, but Nikki, right? Okay, so you can create a book. Okay, you can create a list. Okay, fine. Okay, how do I read the pages? Okay, you can read the pages like this. So to read, right, or basically to see the values, we're going to print some stuff into the terminal. So to print stuff in the terminal, remember we can use print when in that lesson that I taught print. Where in that lesson I was talking about print. That lesson, yeah, we can use print here. Then we need to, let's say we want to look at page 1. So page 1 is this. Okay, so we'll say book brackets, and then all we need to do is call the page number. But here's the thing. This is not page 1. This is not page 1. This is not page 2. This is not page 3. This is not page 4. This is page 0. So in this book, right, if I want to call page 1, I'm doing air bunnies, page 1, you actually have to say Python program, I would like to see page 0 of the book. So we have to do this. So if you want to get the first page, air bunnies in the air, of bunnies, of the book, you have to do book, square bracket, 0, square bracket. So this is actually the 0th page. Then this is the first page, second page, third page. Okay, so now let's run this. So you can see that it has printed out the 0th page of this book, or of the list, which is PyStart is the best. Here. Now let's try here. So if we count, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's the 4th page. But wait, this is not 1. Weren't you listening? This is not 1, this is 0. So actually it's 0, 1, 2, 3. So if we want to call the 4th page, air bunnies in the air, of the book, we have to say 3. So now we will get 6. Here it is. And that is creating a list, and that is viewing the pages in the list. Okay, I have been using the analogy of book and pages, but actually it is not that way. It is list, and then it is like quote unquote, okay, it's index lah. So this is the first index. This is a 0 index. This is 1 index, 2 index, 3 index. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So okay, thanks Nikki, that's very useful. After learning that information, I'm going to create a program and become a millionaire. But what's this stuff up here? So up here you can see, list.append, and then some stuff, right? And then like, what's this stuff? Basically, these are functions that you can use to manipulate lists. But the right term is not functions of the list, right? They're actually called methods. They're called methods of the list, and the reason why is because I'm not going to teach that. But just know that these methods are just functions, okay? So list.append and then bracket, that's a function. So what do they do? We can actually try them out. Okay, let me remove this. And also let me make this look a bit better. So like this, okay. So you can kind of see the items better. Can you? Okay. So what's list.append? What's that? We'll start with list.append. So what it does basically is, if you put the list that you want to affect and some value into the arguments of this function. Arguments is what I taught last time. What an argument is. Basically, this function will add the value that you specified to the very last index, or the next page. So basically, right, let's say we have 0, 1, 2, 3. If we say list.append, then we do book, and then we do the string 8 lah, okay? This will basically go to the 4th index, because 0, 1, 2, 3, it will create a new page. Then after that, it will add the value 8. Okay, one way you can see lists in Python, I believe you can just print a list like this and it will show all the items. Yeah. So now after we appended, okay, actually let me do this. Let me do it like this so you can see the difference. Okay. So before we append anything, right, we should just see this and we print it out. But after we append this item, this value, to the last page, we create an entirely new page at the last page, then we should see that new item. So if we do it, we actually see it. See? It creates an entirely new page, and then it adds that string 8. So that's what append does. That's what append does. Okay. Next, we have index. So so what index does, right, is if you put the list inside and a value inside, it will returning. I taught what returning is in the previous episodes. What it does is it will return the index of that value. So remember I was talking about, this is 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, right? Let's say we do list.index book, then let's say true. The index of true in this list is 0, 1, 2, is 2. What this means is that this will return 2. So if we run this program, we'll see that we get 2. So that works. Oh, Nikki, I get it. So what you're saying is, now if there is true in this index and this index, we'll basically get, this will return 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will return 2 and 4, right? Right? No, it doesn't. What index does is it will return the index of the first instance of that value. Meaning it will iterate through the list from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, infinity. The moment it sees the value true, it will say, oh, I remember your index 67, your index is 67, then it will stop looking. So that's what index does. Okay. Now insert. Okay, so we need so what insert does is it will take the list, it will take a value, but now it will take an index as well. And what it does is it basically just inserts something at the in that index and then shifts everything the other side. That basically, if I say 0, 1, 2, right, I want to add something at 2, then it will add something at 2 and it will shift all of these down 1. So let me show you that now. So let's say list.insert. Okay, actually let me remove this. So let's see. Okay, it goes the list, the index, then the value. Okay, can. So let's say we want to add the first index or 0 here. Let's say we want to add the value. The next statement is a lie. Okay. Now what happens? So first we see the normal list, which is this. Then we see the next one, right? I understand now what you were saying now when you were saying it, which is it will add this value at this index. This is 0, this is 0. It will shift everything 1 to the right. I understand that now, Nikki. You're the best. Oh, thank you. You don't need to say, I hear it every day. So that's what insert does. Okay. So now, what does list.pop do? So actually, I will probably have a video on installing VS Code. This is Visual Studio Code. It's basically how do you say? It basically is like on your screen right now. You are seeing a code editor, right? Basically, it is a code editor, but it has a lot more features. For example, when I write list.pop, right, you can see on the right, there's this thing, right, and then it says some text here. Oh, remove and return item at index default last. Oh, so basically, it can give you some tips on some functions if you don't know what they do. VS Code, and alongside that, right, it also has some quality of life features. Okay, but I'm not gonna talk about it too much. I will talk about it more in the video if there will be one. Yeah, okay, I'm a terrible teacher. So what does list.pop do? As you can read from this tooltip, list.pop will take a list. Okay, that's this dot pop will take a list, and then it will default it will remove the last item in the list, and then it will return that value. So first, let's say we do, okay, I should probably just leave these statements here. If we do this, right, so what we should see is, we see this first, then we see this without 6. Okay, so let's run it, and then we get it. So we see, oh, PyStart is the best, the number true 6. Then we see the last item is removed. But then we were also just not talking about, oh, it's returning the value that it removes. So if we do print like this, you can see that it returns the value that it pops out. It returns the value that it pops out, like that. So that's pretty cool, yeah. So that's dot pop. That's all I'll talk about dot pop. Wait, let me just... Actually, nah, that's not all I'll talk about dot pop, because as you saw from the tooltip, right, if we do this again, you can see that it actually supports an index. Okay, don't take that to be what it means, but basically in the arguments, it takes an index as well, but the index is optional. So, okay, you guys have brains, so can you guess what index does? If let's say I say 2, what do you think the expected output will be? Okay, are you ready? There we go. So it removed the item, the value, at index 2. But it also shifted all the items after index 2 to the left to remove the void lah, basically. So that's dot pop. And then of course, yeah, it returns the value that it removed or that it popped out. So that's dot pop. Okay, and then the final method is dot remove. So dot remove is kind of like dot pop because it removes stuff. Oh, that's wild. Yep, you remove stuff, but it also kind of acts like dot index. The reason is because dot remove will take the list and a value. It'll take the list and a value, and it will remove the first instance of that value in the list. So now if we run this, we'll see that true gets removed, and then everything shifts down, of course. But again, it removes only the first instance. So as you can see, it only removes the first time it sees true, but not the second time. And that is basically remove. So those are the list methods. That is also creating a list and how to get the values of each page or each index of the list. Now we can move on to dictionaries. So dictionaries, right, let's say I create a dictionary. To create a dictionary, what you do is you do something like, oh, you have to create a name first, sorry. Then you do equals, and now instead of square brackets, you can do you have to do curly braces, like that. So if you recall from lists, right, each page had an index. For example, this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For dictionaries, each page is no longer named by numbers. It is now named by strings or numbers, I believe. So let me show you what I mean. So let's say I do hello : 8. I have just created a page that name for the page or the index, quote unquote index is hello. So if you recall, if we want to see the page of the list, we do book and then the index, right? Now if we want to get that value here, we just do square brackets and the name of that page. These are called keys, Keys. So, oh wait, I didn't run it yet, hold on. There, we get 8. Do you think, just a guess, do you think we can use numbers to create the names of keys? Do you think this will work? Yes, it does. What about something like this? What about something like this? Do you think this will work? Yes, it does. So basically, you can have the key of, you can have the names of the keys of dictionaries be any value. Any value. Okay? So, yeah, those are dictionaries. Dictionaries have one method that I'll be talking. Okay, yeah. Before I go on, right, these are not all the methods of lists, and this is not the only method of dictionaries. But these are the basic ones that you pretty much must know for your coding needs. So that's why I went through them. But there are more, so you can choose to explore if you wish. But before you do that, like complete this lesson first. Yeah, okay, cool. So um, dict.pop, list.pop. There's a similarity here. So can you guess? Okay, wait. Let me set the stage. Can you guess what dict.pop does? Remove specified key and return the corresponding value. So now, let's say we do. Oh wait, if the key is not found, so let's say we do. What's it? Better book, and then we do the key. So let's say we do 12. What happens? So at first we have this dictionary. Then after that 12 is removed. Okay, so yeah, you basically know it lah. And then of course if you print, because it returns the value that it removes. So yeah, that's dictionaries. So I mean, that's pretty much it for lists and dictionaries. Your assignment for this lesson will be to your assignment for this lesson will be to create something that uses lists or dictionaries. That is very vague. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're a programmer, right? And then your mother always has these shopping lists that she uses to go and shop, right? But then sometimes she faces difficulty like organizing stuff because it's all on pen and paper. Then being the annoying child that you are, you go to your mother and then say, "Oh, mother, actually let me program something for you. I'll program it in Python, right? It'll be a program that lets you add things to a shopping list and remove things from a shopping list when you're done with them." Then after that, your mother will say, "Oh, but when you program it, it will stay on your computer, right? So I have to bring the entire computer with me to shop." Then you will say yes. So that's an idea. You can do that, or you can do something like you can do something like let's say you're trying to organize a party, right? Then then you can program something, right, where you can add people that are invited to the party. Then on the day itself, you can see that you have like a doorman, right, a very strong buff bouncer at the front of your party entrance. Then that bouncer, right, when they see the invited people coming through, right, oh, they can go use your program to delete the names that they are already here. So those are two ideas. And with your current knowledge on if statements, on printing, on inputting, on loops, on in while loops, right, you have the capabilities to build everything I said. However, I feel like this will be the first assignment where you will experience great difficulty in completing your assignments, which is why PyStart is completely built around the AI helping system. So use the AI and listen to the AI's advice when you're trying to build things. And that will be it for this lesson.